All right, so I'm gonna try and actually, just 1 second here. I'm gonna turn this off. My phone, beeping and beeping. All right, cool. I think I got that now. So, China, first city that they quarantined, 11 million people. As the virus spreads to the U.S. This was January 22nd. Yeah, so we're gonna go back into some older reports. Wuhan authorities just quarantined the entire city. No one permitted to leave without special reason. Infectious respiratory illness is a new strain of coronavirus causing a type of pneumonia. Very suspicious, right? And this happened real quick. So in light of their mismanagement of the SARS outbreak in 2002-2003, China is under intense international scrutiny about the outbreak. The Chinese government was accused of attempting to cover up the severity of the SARS outbreak when it initially occurred. Residents of the affected areas are being advised to avoid unprotected contact with live animals. Also being advised to thoroughly cook meat and eggs, as well as to avoid close contact with anyone with a cold or flu-like symptoms. Cool. Yeah. World Health Organization on January 19th. World Health Organization has issued advice for individuals on how to protect themselves and others from the novel coronavirus. Yeah, so we're just gonna go down memory lane here and start like where I started following it, and check out some of the older. And it says an animal source seems the most likely prime source of this coronavirus outbreak, with some limited human-to-human transmission occurring between close contacts. That's what the data, that's what the official data was saying, right? That's what the data. Data says one thing, but the images and the videos and the actions say another. China confirms human-to-human transmission. So let's just open that again. Let's just check this one out really quick. That's right around the same time. So January 20th is when that happened. China confirms human-to-human transmission of deadly new virus as the 14 medics catch infection. 14 medics. And this was on January 20th. You realize that 14 medics, if they had it, they probably didn't know they had it. Most of them, I would say, because symptoms are very mild for the most part, but you're still infectious. We know that now. Yeah, right? Some say China may not be telling the full truth. Outbreak has scientists baffled. Yeah. China's National Health Commission has confirmed the new SARS-like coronavirus has the ability to jump between humans. Several airports are examining passengers prior to takeoff in hopes of stopping the spread of the illness that has so far killed 4 people. It killed 4 people. When was this? January 20th. And this is when they locked a city of 11 million people down because there was 4 deaths. I don't know. Seems like a logical thing to do. 4 people die. You'd definitely quarantine a city of 11 million people. Like, that's the first thing I would do, of course. Logically speaking, that's, of course you would. Especially in the middle of flu season, right? Like flu season's going on, and at least a few thousand people die every few months of the flu alone there. Or actually, no, I shouldn't say a few thousand, sorry, a few hundred. Like maybe every 3 or 4 months, a few hundred people might die from the flu. And some of those flu type people might suffer pneumonia. Definitely would. That's what I would do. I would lock down a city of 11 million people because we had 4 deaths. Imagine that. So, Texas A&M student had a suspected case, and this was on January 23rd. This is bigger than what they're letting on in the media. This is my reports here at this time. They're saying China has 586 confirmed cases as of an hour ago. I call bullshit. I still do. You don't lock down a population of 21 million people for less than 500 cases. No, definitely you don't. Right? And it was 21 million because they expanded it at this time. They expanded, to a couple of other cities surrounding Hubei, not Hubei, but Wuhan. And this here is a video from the 23rd of January. And it's more serious than the media is letting us out to be. Just 1 second here. I'm gonna close a couple of things out. Yeah, and this here, she was released from quarantine and probably infected dozens of others. This is in Texas. Fantastic, right? We're just letting the ball drop everywhere. Wealthy turning to private jets to escape coronavirus outbreak. I believe it. Toronto Sun, yeah, we're all pretty pissed off about what's going on. UK's got a big problem. This person here is from the cancer unit, and she was looking after terminally ill. She worked at the the hospital in the cancer unit, and unfortunately, wow, it's probably all through that hospital. You can almost guarantee it. Oh, definitely. I don't know. She's a little. Twitter tells employees to work from home. Yep. This here was 3 ambulances just arrived at the Life Care Center, Kirkland. This is a few hours ago. We don't know if this activity is related, but staff are monitoring dozens who have respiratory symptoms. So it's gone through this nursing home like wildfire. They're just trying to downplay it. It's actually a really bad situation in there for the staff, for their families, for their friends, for these people here who are very under protected. This guy up here by the van, he's just walking around. He's just, doesn't care. He's just a cowboy. They're going to be removing patients from there. That's silly as it is, and it just goes to show the lack of knowledge by these first care responders to the gravity of the situation, because they must be running this right down the chain, like even just reassuring first responders that it's just absolutely nothing, right? And they're being lied to as well. Or not that it's nothing, but it's not as bad as it definitely seems like it is. CDC stopped reporting their presumptive, or sorry, not the presumptive, but their total tested numbers. So CDC has stopped disclosing the number of Americans tested for coronavirus. Yeah, so this is the new chart, and we just seen that a second ago. Yeah, they don't tell how many they tested, which is kind of bullshit. So fun stuff, right? Fun stuff. And there is a video of a doctor I've seen, and I don't know, I did have it. The doctor was saying he was pleading actually for these people to get tested, but the CDC wouldn't test them due to the criteria or whatever have you be it. So back to here, we got a few windows closed. People in lockdown in China. So back to the 23rd of January. Okay, we're gonna go. I got quite a bit of stuff here, so it should hopefully, if the stream works right well, it'll be informative. And I still can't click on this. What the hell? It's still lagged behind pretty good.
看看现在这医院是什么状态了啊？已经看见了吗？这是医院里边啊，家里有孩子的能不出来？
Yeah, and he's talking about this is the 23rd, right? But that I posted this, but it was out before the 23rd. You know, travel was still happening at this time. Out of Wuhan, it was still like people were flying directly out of there. Like, look, these are people lined up. These are people lined up. See everybody with masks on, right? See this guy fell down, waiting at the train station. These people all got tickets in their hand, taking a train to wherever they can go. This guy's ticket's over here on the floor. You can see it on the floor over here. But these people are in line up to get a train ticket and to get out of the city, because you could still do that at this time, even when the outbreak was just completely off the wall, right? That's what happened. And lo, these guys show up and they got hazmat suits on. Of course it's related, right? How many people show up to an emergency call with hazmat suits on? Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah, it's a sad thing that happened, because it was not contained when it should have been. And a lot of people got out of there. They're fighting here, I think, or no. No, this isn't the one where they're fighting, but this is where they're building the hospitals, those big hospitals. Or they're digging mass graves, I don't know. But this here was a person that was suspected to be infected at the Wuhan airport, and this is the Wuhan airport. It's the international airport. And they're taking this fella in a quarantine box, like he's just completely sealed in there. You know, he would have been exposing people before he was in the box, on the plane or wherever, or in lineup, or yeah, so. But this is the precautions they were taking back on the 23rd, right? And these people are just collapsing everywhere. This is the Wuhan hospital here. Or no, sorry, not that's oh my goodness, what is that? That's elementary school, I think, or it's some kind of, yeah, it is an elementary school. And that's when they shut down. They just shut her down. No warning. Well, mostly no warning for. And like, look at the traffic. People are just like, what the hell's going on? Like, these people are out of their car. They're walking up, going like, and you know how far this is back? This would be back for like, oh my Jesus, for a long way. You could only imagine, right? This is like mainland China, like Hubei, or you know, Wuhan is a transport hub. There's a lot of traffic coming in and out of there, and you would not be able to back your car up, and they're not letting you go in. You know, like, where would you go? Right? You had like tens of thousands of people stranded on the highways alone. Like, what the hell? And these people all fighting, like, they're fighting just mad, right? Everybody, but like, they were fighting because people were taking too much. Apparently that's what was going on, like in this scene at this grocery store, because there's a couple of different videos from this store, and fighting and bickering. It was because people were taking too much, and they were, yeah, and other people were pissed off because they had like next to nothing. So there's that one.
看看现在这医院是什么
I'll close a couple more of these. So yeah, in some of these videos they removed dropping like flies, but this is real bad. They're downplaying it in the media. They're deleting videos off YouTube, and what do you know? It's gone. And like back here, like most people didn't even like, they were laughing, right? They just didn't, like, I was like, oh my fuck, this is crazy, and nobody believed me. Like, they really didn't know. Everybody thought I was full of shit. At moments I thought I was full of shit. If they take a case in Canada, I'm gonna change my name to Rick. So this is a video compilation. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we'll take a quick skim through it. We won't watch the whole things. We'll just kind of skim through of the conditions, what was going on, right? Oh, what's this? I guess I wish to proceed. Again, oh yeah, here the traffic blocked, right? And the same people like right in this video as well. And again here, people falling. We're not sure, but this guy is actually wearing a mask. All right, this person is wearing a mask, so it does actually fit the description or the, you know, the whole scene of things. You know, everybody's wearing masks. It's a viral situation. People are dropping, you know, and it's hard to verify 100%. But it does seem, you know, very likely, and this does seem like it was, you know, taken from a closed caption video device. Somebody recorded this on their cell phone from a video camera somewhere, right? So this camera was already posted at this station, watching this, you know, whatever, this entrance, I guess. And this guy just drops, and this person probably shared the video with friends or whoever. And, you know, nothing was being really censored a whole lot at this time, because the highest up government didn't really realize a whole lot what was going on at the time. They knew, but they didn't really know, I guess, right? And the lower government really kept it much under wraps, that it wasn't as bad as it was. And yeah, so the big censorship didn't come out so much back then. So anyway, we'll keep rolling with a couple more of these. Yeah, and like, oh, like this person's over here on the floor, and just dropped, right? Just fell down. Like, she's probably sitting on her chair or sitting on her desk or whatever, and she just, like, there's her phone beside her. Like, she just collapsed instantly. Right? And you know it's the same situation, because look at all these people, and they all got, as like, it looks like rain jackets and rubber bags or something, like, I don't know, bags on their boots. Doesn't really look like they're really suited up for the occasion, considering what we know now about how viral this is. Right? And everybody's just kind of standing around. Nobody wants to go near her, because, you know why? They understand that she's infected. Nobody's going to help her. You know, it's a woman. Do you not think people be over there beside her being like, oh my god, you know, like, trying to help her? No. In this situation, everybody's backed up, right? We see that it's viral. We know that this is happening, right? And this is and not only do these videos existing now in China, they're also existing in Iran, in South Korea, in France. So it's very concerning, right? I don't know what the hell they're doing here. They're supposed to be like using like a chemical to fumigate whatever. I don't know. That could be the goddamn chemical for all we know. And here they are sealing up the city, and they just shut it down, right? Big lines of traffic. Big lines of traffic. And here, like this guy, this video comes up quite a bit. But if we look at the ambulances, these are like in fact like the ambulances that are in the city of Wuhan, because I did look it up. They're red and white, and the license plates are yellow. I did as much as vetting as I could for the situations, and this guy, like, he seems like a businessman. He's just normal. He's doing his thing, and he just collapses, right? And you can tell. I don't know if it's this video, but there is a video where you can see the blood, and there's a lot of blood. So he just fell like face down, right? Like he just collapsed mid stride, like walking. So it hits you just like that. And these people are showing up in hazmat suits, right? They got hazmat suits on. You know, they're aware of the situation. It's a viral situation. They don't know what's going on, but all they know is it's, at this time, it's the viral ammonia of unknown cause, right? That's all they know. And they were doing a really good job of keeping this under wraps, but a lot of these videos got out, right? And this guy is like, he looks like a businessman. He's young. He's not, this affects everyone equally. No matter what they're trying to say, that some people are older, they're more susceptible. Well, that may be the case, but you're also more susceptible to exercise if you're older, right? It's it's a no-brainer. You can't compare it like that. So anyways, and these people are showing up in like hazmat suits. It's the real situation. Look, yeah, see, you can see the blood. Like he just did a face plant mid stride. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how quick it hits out of nowhere. And these videos are surfacing other places around the world. And oh yeah, look, Chinese propaganda. They had this gorgeous girl eating this bat, and like everybody was like, "Oh my god, it came from bats! It came from bats!" Well, yes, it does have bat DNA in it. We know that now. The genetic sequence has bat DNA, and it's actually DNA that's linked to a laboratory bat. In that, well, it is, and yeah. Wow, and that's what's Chinese propaganda back in the day, right? Well, back in the day, like it was way back in the day. January 23rd is when this was, right? But it came out before then. It was circulating before then. All right. This is just when I kind of got a hold of it. But yeah, and here they're loading people. This person's in a sealed, like it's a sealed bubble, kind of thing. Yeah, they know that they're aware of the situation, right? And here they are, just doctors on the airplanes taking temperatures. Well, we know now that that is absolutely useless. And if anything, that doctor probably got infected now after that. Of course he would have. If there was anybody infected on that plane, even 2 or 3 people, and he come in direct contact with them like that. Yeah, and it's curious why he's wearing a face mask. Is he infected? I'm just wondering if he's infected, because they're telling everybody not to buy face masks. Right? They're saying that they don't work for the public. Well, if they don't work for the public, why do they work for the doctors and not the public? I'm just asking, for a friend. Good stuff. Oh yeah, this guy wasn't too happy. No, this isn't. There's an English subtitle one I got. It's actually a lot better. But he's very upset with the government or the powers that be, and you know what I mean. Like people are just collapsing in the streets everywhere, like all these videos, right? Oops. And fighting, and it's just madness. Yeah. Actually, there's better ones than that. That one's just, yeah. So I think, yeah, this is on January 24th. Check out this one right quick again. Or, yeah. It's bananas, right? It really is. And it goes back so far. Like, I've been watching it and I've been seeing these videos and I'm like, no goddamn way these are fake. They're not, right? They're just not. I don't know why it's taking forever to load. It sucks.
Hi, welcome to the
Hi, how you doing? Sad situation, fucking ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell ya. And like, he's up. Yeah, see? Like, this is here is in English. So, number 5 hospital. He's talking. There's. I guess that's how they're labeling this. Is the number 5 hospital is asking or saying that they're going to transfer patients to his hospital, right? Because they have no room, but he's already has no room. And anyways, he's talking to a senior official on the phone. So I'm not sure who he's talking to, but yeah. So he's saying, you know, what have you done? What the hell have you done? Like, why would he say that? Like, what have you done? I don't know. It seems like pretty accusive, or, you know, I don't know. You are the goddamn motherfuckers. He's not happy. Order us to do 4 shifts on one fucking day. Order you. And they would too. They would order you to do the work. And if you didn't work, you would be punished, of course, right? It's the Chinese government, man. It's very, very corrupt and vicious. You know, and they're saying, you know, don't we want to survive and live? You know, like, they know the gravity of the situation. They see what's happening. They see people dropping dead everywhere. These are the frontline people. You know what I mean? He's like, come see with your own eyes. And this person videotaping, I think she's a nurse too, because she speaks later on. And you know, he's saying, what the hell are you doing? And this other nurse tries to come in and calm him down, right? And be like, you know, because she knows that he could be in like real big fucking trouble for that, like speaking to superiors like that, right? And she just wants to calm him down and be like, and he's like, fuck no. Like, he knows what's up, right? And see, obviously it's a very stressful and terrible situation for him to snap like that, right? Like, these are healthcare professionals. He's probably handled some pretty crazy shit there. But obviously this isn't anything he's ever seen, right? So she sounds like she's infected, right? And I think, but that's why this guy's so upset too, because this person's infected here, and you know, like, she doesn't sound very good. Like, she's short of breath. You can tell that she's short of breath when she's kind of got labored breathing when she's speaking. And she's saying here, like, she went there and there's no director at the hospital right now. Like, they're like, these people are on their own. Whoever the higher ups were just bailed. But the director of the hospital actually later on died, because this is the Wuhan hospital. And then we found out that the director actually died. and he had the coronavirus.
我连1、2、3、4、5、4档都先都打了。不要医生，我不要医生，我有医生，我当时人家我能看病，你把那个地上。
七里庙啊，七里庙车站这里头，走到万华里倒了啊！你晓得怎么回事的？杨子知道蛮好的，不要想戴口罩了。不要戴口罩。
And like people just dropping everywhere.
恐慌，严不严重？看你们还戴不戴口罩，都当是小事。可能是现在武汉市是个么情况？当然。
炖个汤，然后煮点烧。
But anyway, yeah, we'll keep rolling through. This guy here was pretty pissed off. And he's like, why don't you let me shoot? Because this person's telling them not to film or videotape it. And he's saying, you know, why do you not let me do that? And then he kind of calls out the government for being corrupt. Like, people are getting fed up with it, right? Just fed up. And there's more videos of the same one. You know, in here, this is outside the airport, and you know, all these police just showed up to like shut down the airport. Craziness, right? Police all came and they shut her down. They locked down that city so quick. Like, I don't know who these people are in lab coats. I don't think they're doctors. I don't know. Crazy stuff, right? Yeah. You never know. So, let's keep going. What else? 24th. China locks down 14 cities. So, you know, this is only on the 24th of January. I don't know why this is eating up so much of my memory. My mental memory and my computer memory. China's, yeah. Coronavirus lockdown, unlike anything seen before. First case appears in Europe, and this was January 24th. Cool. Not really, but what the hell? So the death toll from the virus is now at 41, and China expanded the lockdown to 14 cities because of 41 deaths. That doesn't make sense to me. You wouldn't even quarantine the first city for 41 deaths. It wouldn't matter. No, you wouldn't. No. It says it is killing 14% of hospitalized patients, according to new research published by the University of Hong Kong. Yeah. All the numbers and statistics I just don't really pay too much attention to right now. CDC confirms second case in the US. That was on January 24th. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Craziness. Should all be very scared. Yeah, well, at that time I was looking at this going, like, it took me a little while to settle in to the whole shock of it as well, right? And this here, like, this at the time, this person said there was over 90,000, and that was on the 24th. Yeah. And the hospitals just got overloaded at this time. And that's the thing. That's what we're looking at now, right? We're looking at this in the United States right now. You know, the nursing homes, the schools. There's teachers getting positive for this. There's healthcare workers getting positive for this. There's patients in the nursing homes getting positive for this. It's just relentless right now. You can't keep up to this because you don't know who has it. And now they came out and said they were going to give everybody free healthcare for this, you know, for this specific thing. If you think you have it, then you call this number and blah 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 blah. But are they actually doing anything? They said that they would transfer you to the hospital, get you tested, and, you know, give you everything you need to know. China puts millions under lockdown in Wuhan. Yeah, that was on the 24th. Like, there was a lot of stuff at this time. I found this at this time. January 24th. I don't know. I just found it. I can't even remember where I found it. But I don't even know if it's real. But at that time, it said, you know, a lot of things that we know now. Develop flu-like symptoms. Creeps for a while. And then you just suddenly, what? Hey. I believe you too, Zero. Hey, what's up, Dominus? Just seen the chats. Babito. Yes. Shit. Sorry about that. I don't know. Something's going on here. I'll get this straightened out. Terrible. Computer's having it rough right now, I guess. Yeah, okay, there we go. So yeah, I don't know, this freaked me out at the time I seen it, because it, you know, but it's, what it does is it does something to the diaphragm, inhibiting breathing, and the lung tissue, which gives you pneumonia. And it says can be spread via skin to skin contact, air, water, and blood. So blood would mean, like, that would include feces, and because I think right now, like, they have tested feces and stuff, and it's positive, so it can travel through that way. The dog apparently is positive. Like, if you were following that about the people saying that the dog was infected and they were just wondering if it was just residue, well, the dog is confirmed to be infected. Now, the dog from Hong Kong. Empty streets. That was January 24th in Wuhan, and, like, people were laughing, like, at this time because they thought I was crazy. They thought I was full of shit, and people still think it. Right? That's the sad thing. Just don't understand the gravity of it yet, and it is all lies, and that's all they can do is lie. When it's this bad, all they can do is just try to ride it out, right? But don't be a part of that statistic. You know, take precautions and be aware. I guess it's, you know, for whatever reason, it's not going to let me open certain things. So FEMA camps, they were talking about these. I don't know if they were actually. That was just kind of like, it was deceiving, but people collapsing, yeah, everywhere. We know that, right? They were collapsing everywhere. the flight map. I found this flight map of this was at the time. Come on, you stupid map. It's not even the map, it's the computer. Or multiple issues. I wonder. Anyway, the map, yeah, I don't know if you can see that very well, but it does show lots of, you know, spider webs coming out of there. You know, that's a lot of contact tracing. I'll just wait. Chinese horrors, yeah. Yeah, and the Harvard epidemiologist, you know, when this first came out, he said, yeah, this is actually pretty goddamn bad. Oh, look, there's the map. I didn't even... But anyway, yeah. 20 million people have been quarantined and prevented from traveling, but millions already have. This was, you know, this was direct flights right out of there just before the quarantine happened, or just after, just around that time, or like, you know what I mean. So like the infection was going crazy, but you know, it wasn't just this one table from this one day. You know, there was multiple tables like this days before and days before and days before. Right. That's data. That is data right there. That is you don't even have to be a scientist to understand that data. Right? Okay, now slow down. Where is the Facebook? It just shit the bed and it's not gonna let me do nothing. Cool. Love it. What about some latest news? Past 24 hours. Do. Stocks roar back from coronavirus plunge. The biggest gain since 2009. Will you imagine? That's awesome, isn't it? I really don't believe that. I do, but oh, there we go. It's working again. Sweet. So doctor also infected by coronavirus. Let's check out this one. Oh. Why is it just Facebook? Must be. They really don't want me to show you this content, because my Facebook shouldn't be loading that hard. I don't have anything open. Like I've ran streams with like 1,500 windows open at the same time, and Facebook cruising, never an issue. Oh, yeah. So I don't know if that's actually related, but yeah, he definitely took a dive there. Yeah, this is during the lockdown. These videos are going, or these vehicles are going around telling everybody to go inside, and they're broadcasting messages telling everybody to go home and return to their homes. This is when like the lockdown just started. This is January 25th when this video came out, but yeah, probably a day or two before. And like they just blocked everything. Blocked it all off. Everything. You didn't get in, you didn't get out. And if you were from Wuhan, If you were from even that Hubei province when they locked it down, and you escaped to other cities, they didn't just, you know, disrespect the fact that you came there possibly infected to their city. They actually took it out on you quite vengefully. Because they considered you literally a murderer by doing that. Because you know, you're infected and you infect other people. So here they're doing just checks, but we know the temperature checks didn't work. They really don't. Large explosion in Wuhan. That video got removed. Yeah. And here, the Globe and Mail, weeks before lockdown, Wuhan authorities downplayed the coronavirus. That was on January 25th. Yep, they did. And there was another video. I said, here it is again. Watch before they take it down. And it looked like it was in Wuhan. Just because, like, the big city background, and it was just like a massive explosion. People said it was a fertilizer plant, or I don't know. Allegedly, rescue teams arriving in Wuhan. This here was the World Health Organization, or whoever's special team went in. It wasn't the rescue team. No, it was the people who went to ground zero when it first happened, and they were there for like a day or two and they left. I don't even think they were there for 2 days. They just came in and did a quick whatever, but now this video's gone. It showed people arriving in the airport all suited up. I mean, like, with top of the line gear, right? You could tell, and they were carrying briefcases and like great big silver briefcases, like testing samples and taking samples and stuff like that, right? And they came in off the plane, and it was on the airstrip. And yeah, it wasn't a rescue team, it was World Health Organization, and somebody uploaded the videos, and somebody that must have been working at the airport. Anyway, they took that down. Surgical masks were sold out of France on the 25th of January. And people were still like, you know, like not even caring. Like, it was, well, people still don't care. And there's another thing, you know, the same guy. And this here, panic strikes China after Wuhan super virus escapes lab. You know, it's kind of direct. It's funny that video's still up. A lot of them got taken down. A ton of them.
Now it just feels like the very beginning minutes of, you know, I Am Legend or Resident Evil. Of course, you know, this is different. These aren't, you know, these people aren't turning into zombies as far as we can tell. But, you know, the idea is fairly similar. And, you know, that's all you can really say. The video really speaks for itself. And we feel that a lot of this is going to get shut down quite quickly as far as the information flow is concerned.
Yep, it did. You're goddamn right, it did. They took that one down. More footage. New images. This was on January 25th again. There was lots of stuff like this coming out. And then it just dropped. Like, you can't even get a sniff out of there now. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. If there's something coming out of China, it's good news, it's happy, it's rainbows, it's butterflies. It's all good. Alright, that's it. That's it. I promise you. And if there is anything up there, they take it down real quick. Like, they're working double time to really scrub the information now, and they have to. Bavito, I don't know, man. That's a good question. It would seem logical that it could. Like bodily fluids, I guess if you were infectious, yeah, you would probably most likely infect somebody through sexual contact as well. But man, Dan, this is people, they're waiting in lineup to get whatever, this is before everyone was really forced into their houses. This is when it started breaking down, when they couldn't hide it anymore. This is what happened. And that's the same thing as the United States doing. That's the same thing every other place is doing. It's not that, they're just, they're downplaying it majorly, fucking majorly, as to not cause panic, to try and hold some little bit of something together until it all just goes pop. And you don't want to be around for that, especially if you're in a big city, because it will go up. And it happened every other place. We're going to go into videos here and showing that, like China's a different place. In China, the people are actually scared of the government. In other places of the world, it's usually the government's scared of the people. So I'm not sure how this is going to work out in a very let's say liberal world everywhere else, because that's basically what it comes down to. Everybody's just not going to stand for it, and most people in the United States will just be like, no, you're not going to quarantine me. Or maybe some people will, maybe some people won't. We don't know how this is going to play out. There's a lot of what ifs, right? There's definitely a lot of what ifs in this scenario on a lot of levels, from the global levels of potential somebody doing something stupid and starting like a big war. It could happen. We don't know what the figures are on the death rate. I really don't trust even our data coming from our government at all. I really don't. Even for death rates or anything. Officially, I don't. And I just have to be skeptical like that. Yeah. They're waiting to get into the hospital. I thought this was the one at the store, but this is the hospital and everybody's trying to go get checked out. But you can imagine that these hospitals, we know now that it went through this hospital like wildfire. All of them. Everybody got infected. Nurses, doctors, police officers, military, high up officials, all kinds of people got infected with this. We don't know what's happening in China right now. We really don't. It's gone dark over there. And we can only assume, right? We can only assume. And no one took his money. And that's funny, eh? But no one took his money because it's probably covered in virus, right? Nobody's gonna touch that. That money's super infectious. People know that. Oh yeah. This guy, this person was from Hubei, and this is, they found, there's multiple sources that can confirm this video, and it makes a lot of sense. But a good example of how they're treating people that they, that are from the quarantine zone, and now, they're out into these other cities, and people find out somehow that they're in the city and from their license plate on their car, kind of thing, and they just go after them. And this guy gets, unfortunately, done, right? That's pretty brutal. And this here's the video of the doctor. This here's the hospital when it got real bad. When it got real bad, this is what happened. And everybody was coughing, a lot of people coughing, and the doctor in this video is on the floor. You see that? Fuck you, motherfucker. But the doctor's on the floor, right? Doctors, like, this video was from when? January 25th. Right? It's out of control at this time. It was out of control. Like, you wouldn't imagine how bad it was. Like the whole city. I'd say there's millions alone infected in this city alone. Millions alone. Just this city. I'd believe it. And I think that's true. Tens of thousands dead in the city alone. Just this one. But it hit them pretty quick, right? Everybody's just collapsing on the floor. And it would seem, more appropriate for the measures that they're taking if this was in fact something a lot worse than what they're saying. Right? Of course it does. And look at this person. I'm just like, it's the person on the stretcher. See how his arms are up and contorted? That, to me, almost seems like there's a lot of people that kind of like get like a weird contortion. I don't know if that's a nervous system response, because there's a lot of videos of people like twitching out and stuff, right? Like they're twitching, and even there's ones out now from Hong Kong. There's one out from Hong Kong where the fellow's in the mall and he's on the floor face down, and he's twitching on the floor, and nobody's going to help him, and everybody's got masks on, so it fits the situation, it fits the criteria. It seems highly plausible that it's related to this situation, and he's twitching, right? And not only him, but there's lots of other ones, and he's in a contorted kind of position. I don't know if that's like something, I don't know. I'm just really concerned, that like his arms are up. Like, why? Like, is it easier to breathe that way? Maybe is it like a nervous system response to something? And like this here, yeah, like this here video has been confirmed a few times. It even made it to mainstream media. And you can tell these people are visibly shaken, right? Like all these healthcare workers are infected. 100% they are. Guaranteed. Right? And like they would have got cross-infected, possibly, if that's possible, right? Going from one patient to the next patient to the next patient. Like, we don't know if somehow this mutated in this kind of environment where where it would have passed to so many different people in such a short amount of time. It could have made some kind of vicious mutant of, we don't know, right? But it seems highly unlikely that there's just a single strain of this going around, considering the varying degrees of how this affects somebody. You can be perfectly normal walking around and then just drop, or like, you can be in a hospital bed for like what, months? It doesn't make sense, right? But anyway, like, these people are broken. They're fucking broken. They were abandoned. Their higher ups abandoned them. Supervisors abandoned them. People are just collapsing. Like, it's nonstop, people piling up, right? And you can imagine, right? Of course, the emotions and the stress. That's the military rolling in. The Wuhan airport. You could come in. Like if you were arriving on flights and stuff like that. But you couldn't leave. They weren't letting people leave. Yeah, that was on the 25th of January. Those videos. And this here, you know, like I was saying with the seizures and stuff. This here video, this person made it to mainstream media as well in a couple of videos, but not many people seen this one of this person actually having a seizure. And it's you know, it makes me wonder how this is affecting different people, right? It doesn't seem that this is just this isn't just a respiratory disease like they're saying it is. This seems like it's neurological. Alright, I don't know. Let's see, it seems like it's like something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's the doctor. And you know, obviously people just breaking down, right? And Hong Kong declares state of emergency. That was on January 25th. Yeah. Just you know, a lot of these videos gone. Disease expert. This was a disease expert. But I have that video saved. Yeah, I do. Because I knew they'd take shit like that down, and I got it backed up on like 15 different, no, not 15, but I got it backed up on external hard drives and stuff, because some of these videos that they are doing a very good job of taking them down, right? So you got to keep the word out there, and you got to allow people to see the true the reality of what's going on, so people can be truly prepared to face this, because the government is just not gonna let us know, because they want everybody to stay calm. Right. So Hong Kong reported its first case 3 days ago, as you can see from the video upload. Today, only 3 days after, declared a state of emergency. Right. So 3 days ago, they declared first case, and then declare a state of emergency. So obviously, you know, you don't declare one case and then declare a state of emergency. Well, yeah, unless you know something, right? So this here's another video. I think this is Hong Kong. After they declared the state of emergency. We're not sure what's going on in this video, and I don't know why my computer is eating up so much RAM. Like, slow down, George. Not even that busy. But yeah, anyways, there's nothing really you can see in this video, but it's basically I can't open it for some reason. But it has like a, you know, special response unit or whatever in Hong Kong, like a police response unit, and they got the big buses out, like police buses and all kinds of crazy shit. But you can't see what's going on, but people are just lined up across the street over here. In the image you can see kind of to the left, there's a bunch of people on the other side of the street, and there's nobody on this side of the street. on the right side of the street. So there's obviously something going on there big, that they blocked everything, shut it right down. And it does seem relevant to the situation, because a lot of people were wearing face masks, and that's how you can almost tell that, you know, the situation is because people in the face mask, and we know that this is China, we know it's Wuhan, we know it's the hospital. The English subtitles on this one, let's roll with this one, because a lot of these English subtitle ones got removed, right? They really did. It's just gonna take a moment, I guess. Yeah, and it's an absolute disaster, right? And we're seeing this happen. This is January 25th. Again, this is just going to be overcrowded hospitals. And just get a feel for the situation, right? Do you believe what the media is telling you? Or do you believe what the images are telling you? I don't know. I personally believe in what I see, not what I hear, right? And for some reason the computer is just okay. Wow, it's taken forever to open up a tab, like, honestly. Let me try. I wonder if that'll help. We'll see. Yeah, we've seen that video a few times, but this here made it to Time magazine, actually. This video here, they did a little broadcast, and I'll have it coming up here. It's with an infectious disease expert who kind of gives it to us straight, and which is not the way almost anybody has given it to us lately. So this here again from the Wuhan hospital, and the doctor here walks away from the patient because there's nothing that they can do. This is his wife or something, you know. This person obviously is passed out or died on the bench, just waiting for the hospital. And you know, the woman's saying, you know, I have a fever too. You know, it's a terrible, terrible situation. Yeah, we've seen a lot of these ones. Yeah, again. A lot of people just like, yeah. So that's basically the same ones that we watched earlier. A lot of it. Yeah, 56 million on lockdown, and that was January 25th. And then Australia and Malaysia got their first ones. Chief medical officer in Ontario, first confirmed case, January 25th. I was happy about that. And that's the day I went out and started. I took measures. And I did change my profile picture just like I said I would. And I haven't got a cowboy hat yet, but I'm working on it. Yeah, there's a lot of shocking videos coming out of there, right? Oh yeah, and let's just check this out for a minute. What is this place? What in the the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Imagine. This place is where it all started. Well, I don't know if this is the place where it all started, but this place is just up the road from where it all started. The Wuhan Institute of Virology. Yep. This is the level 4 super laboratory that is in Wuhan. funny, eh? Like, I don't know, these guys do some crazy shit. They do. I don't know, man. What do you think, right? What do you think? Some stuff, right? Some stuff. And a lot of people speaking out about this, you know, another citizen journal. You know, and we know now that he was actually contained. Another video, you know, biolaboratory. Yeah, it is there, right? The laboratory is there. Like, this started where the laboratory is. This thing is absolutely confusing our scientists, or so they say it is, you know. So what is it? Obviously nothing that we know. And on the 26th of January, and this is when I posted this, I said almost no current videos are coming out of that region now. Because I was following this like you would not believe. Like, I would literally go to sleep like with the phone in my hand and computer and like, and then wake up and just go checking updates. And there was almost no more videos that started coming out of there. Like, there was lots. There really was. Just pick a few. I didn't really know, you know, which ones to pick at the time. I just kind of shared the ones that I kind of viewed, and, you know, there was lots of them. But then they just disappeared real quick. Because it made, you know, the Chinese government took it all down. People fighting over food, like, it just, and this is on January 26th. You know, there's 80 million people in quarantine there, right? 80 million people in quarantine at that time. Unreal. China expects coronavirus outbreak to accelerate. Well, yeah. For Australians, and that was January 26th. Australians got it. Third case confirmed in the US. So the third case in the US was on January 26th. And there's 105 in the US now. It's about a month and a bit later. Yeah, there's a lot of... this here's a video that kind of got lost a little while ago and doesn't get circulated very much, but this is from Global News. And there's another one I have. But this was early in the game. This came out around, I think, yeah, the 26th of January. It could have been out maybe a little bit before that, of course, if it was recorded.
观察情况看，潜伏期大约在10天左右。
So, spread during the incubation period. That's what they said back then. This is what they said back in January 26th. And we're just, like, confirming this from the World Health Organization, like, just days ago, weeks ago. You know? And the CDC, and they're still kind of denying that it might not spread so bad if you don't have symptoms. You know, it probably spreads more if you have symptoms, is what they're saying. Like, it's just, right? They're just downplaying it too much, and it sticks out like a red thumb, and everybody sees it now. So I'll just keep let this guy keep going. Turn it down just a little bit, but the subtitles are there, and yeah, he does say some very key things through here, right?
最短的潜伏期有1天发病，最长的潜伏期是
It says 10 days, but we know now that it can be up to 27.
14天。潜伏期具有传染性，这同SARS 有很大的不同。
This is very different from SARS.
防控工作力度会进一步加强。我想应该在一段时间内，防控的措施陆续产生作用，发挥效果，疫情的流行强度将会下降。从疫情的认知来看，主要途径为呼吸道传播，但对新型冠状病毒的认识还十分有限，传染。
You know, the origin hasn't been found. Of course, it still hasn't been found. But that's highly suspicious, considering, you know, our best scientists in the world are on this, and they should know at least the genealogy of where it would fit into the nature's puzzle. But it doesn't fit anywhere in nature's puzzle. It's not a puzzle piece that you can fit in nature. You know, it's a... No. Because it didn't come from nature.
还没有找到传播致病的机理以及变异的风险。
So we're not sure about the method of transmission at this time. They're still not. And if the virus will be mutated. They do mention that back here. But they don't mention too much of it anywhere else. They just say, oh no, it's all good. Didn't mutate, now it's stable, everything's stable. Well, if it's stable, that's even more concerning. Because viruses are supposed to mutate naturally.
还不清楚，更多的临床资料，我们再加以。
一断什么？就是坚决的阻断病毒传染的渠道，因为交通运输它确实是这样的一个渠道。另外的话，我们又要实现这个3不断，也就是说，公路交通网络不能断。这路网它确实保证整个社会运行的，它不能断。
They said that the road and the internet and all that can't be cut off, but they dug the roads up, they blocked them all off. We've seen the videos of the roads being blocked off. I don't know.
应急运输绿色通道不能断，必要的群众生产生活物资的运输的通道不能断。
但是呢，这个疾病呢，从我们的认识来讲，它是一个新发的疾病。
You know, it's a new kind of disease, and he even reiterates that to say, you know, our knowledge is limited. And it still is, apparently.
说人类对它认识还是有限的。
We're not clear about the change of the disease. What does that mean? What does he mean back here, January 26th, with the change? We're not clear about the change. So it changed back here. Something happened back here. Something changed, obviously. That's what he said. It mutated. It had to have. In the hospitals or in the heavy populated areas where you had really infected people and cross-contaminating other people possibly. And whatever was bad is now absolutely even worse. Or it mutated in a natural recombination way, or it mutated in another way. We're still not sure on that.
对疾病可能的变化呢还不清楚，疫情进展的情况呢还不能完全掌控在我们手。
You know, at least they said it back then. It isn't in total control. No, it still isn't in total control. It's actually just starting. It's actually just starting. The fire just started. On the global level, China's actually just starting, really. And you think about it, because, you know, now is crunch time, because the resources are getting very depleted. You got 1.4 billion people in there, give or take. Right? So it's only starting there as well. And that was back, you know, that was back on the 26th, right? That was back on the 26th. January. Virus is getting stronger. Let's just see. I don't know if this is the same one. No, that's not the same one. US confirms the 5th case, and that was on January 26th. You know, there was community transmission happening at this time in the US. Yes, here's the one that I wanted to show you that really makes, you know, this guy calls it like it is. And, you know, we know that the CDC, most people now are telling people not to wear masks, and understandably so, given that the short supply, or actually extreme short supply. You have to think, on average, I can't remember what it was. For the United States healthcare alone, It was something like a billion, just over a billion masks per day for healthcare professionals. I think it is, like, considering that they have to like take them on and off, visiting different patients and stuff like that, right? So I think they took that into consideration. They kind of come up with this number. It's just over a billion a day, a billion face masks a day. So we don't even have, we don't have that. But this person makes a very good point, or this doctor, I should say, makes a very good point in saying, he stresses, he says, if you go out in public, he says, you must wear a mask. But now we have everybody saying, no, you don't wear a mask. He even had the Surgeon General tweeting on his Twitter account, actually in like capital letters, screaming at people saying, give it up, people, or something along those lines. Stop buying the masks, seriously. And he's like, they will not protect you. They will only protect healthcare workers. Because healthcare workers are different from you, because you're not human like they are human, and you're not, you're not. It makes no sense, right? Obviously they got a big shortage of it. Obviously they're not prepared for it. Obviously they don't have any stockpiles they can call upon like they say they do. So they're in major problems, right? So anyways, let's just roll into this video here. This is from January 27th. This is what they're saying back then as well. Okay, once we get some cooperation from my processor here. It's kind of got a delayed response.
This new virus may be more infectious than SARS. Super spreading events must be occurring, otherwise the number would not jump so high. And now we are seeing human-to-human transmission in family clusters and also in the hospitals. We have seen patients, especially children, who...
Okay, whoa, right there. They're saying that... Now they're saying this day that children are actually more resilient to this. It doesn't affect kids at all. But back here on January 24th, they're saying we have seen patients, especially children, who show no symptoms of pneumonia, but who are infected. Like that's like, obviously they're seeing lots of cases of children that had this in China, so what's to say that, but they're downplaying it, saying no, don't worry about your kids, they're safe, they're all good. They said it's actually the kids are the most safest. I'm pretty sure they said that with the CDC. They said no, kids are actually the ones who are least susceptible to this. But here we have this report from back January 24th, when it was released by Time magazine, saying especially children, right? So obviously they're getting a lot of cases with children with this. So they're full of shit, right? Call it their bullshit when you see it.
Who have a pneumonia but has no symptom of fever or cough, which means that it is not easy to recognize these cases of novel coronavirus infection, which makes the...
Who do we believe? Every goddamn doctor's saying something different. But back in the day, well, not back in the day, but January 24th, way back in the day. January 24th, yeah, so this expert, he's an expert, right? And he's probably ground zero where this is happening. He's seeing the studies and the results, and he might even be taking part in it firsthand. So, yeah, and he's saying things that they're totally saying completely different this day, right? Weird.
Control of this outbreak more difficult. Once you start to have cases that has no connection to Wuhan, means that there are local chain of transmission happening, and that is extremely worrying. So it is very important for us to control it.
I remember I showed you a video earlier with this in it. This is Time magazine streaming this video, so you know what I mean? We got to take it validates everything happening, the scene, the situation, all the people falling down, all the people in dire need. It's not like they're telling us.
Everybody, once you are outside your home, on public transport, to workplaces, you must
wear a mask. Funny that contradicts everything they're saying today. They're actually even yelling at us. Surgeon General actually did put capital letters on his Twitter account and yelled at people. Seriously, people, stop buying the masks, is what he said. And he yelled at us. At the people for buying masks. For wanting to protect ourselves. For following, actual advice of, any other. They say, well, it's not going to help you. Well, it's not going to hurt you. You know what I mean? A hard hat's not going to help you on a construction site if you get run over by a fucking truck. But you still have to wear your hard hat on a construction site. It's the law. Or it is in America and the US and North America. And most other countries. So, it's a shield. It's a layer of safety, right? And they're telling us no, they don't even work at all, so don't bother. Fuck these guys. Bags of shit. I say, get yourself some protection, but don't go overboard. Right? There's a difference between, being a fucking douchebag and hoarding an abundance of things that you probably don't need. Being conservative and getting what you think you need, maybe just a little bit more, right? Not going way overboard, right? Of course not. You can't be doing that stuff because that's how things will get out of control.
Wear a mask. You must do frequent hand hygiene and don't go near the hospital unless it's absolutely necessary.
And that's great advice. Don't go to the hospital unless it's absolutely necessary. Because this is going to be the breeding grounds for these places. That's where it's going to hit first. It will. That's how it's happened in China. And we can only take lessons from China. And that's the whole point of this stream. Right? We're going to take a trip down memory lane and see what happened in China and what they failed at. And regardless of the issues of why they failed, we're kind of repeating the similar mistakes in the rest of the world. So we need to pay attention to what happened. Because it's going to almost be a cookie cutter experience about what's going to happen everywhere else.
And of course, for healthcare workers, it's very important that all doctors and nurses must comply with infection control procedures. If the control measures are not working, or if the control measures are not being complied, then the trajectory could be very alarming. I just want to say that don't be complacent. We must treat it extremely seriously, because if you make a wrong decision in this stage in time, like what has happened in Wuhan, why not Hong Kong or other cities become Wuhan? Perfectly possible.
And perfectly possible, it has happened. Because this is from the 24th of January. And he's saying why other cities can't happen just like Wuhan. And that's exactly what's happening. It's exactly what as soon as I knew, when I watched this video, I was pretty sure that there already was cases exported, just considering the travel history. There would have had to been cases exported, right? But they just weren't being detected yet. And, these people were being infectious and infecting other people. And then, those people infecting other people. It's not good. But anyway, let's keep rolling if we can. City of Wuhan, people falling down. And yeah, there was a United Nations hack. I don't know if it had anything to do with, but it happened on January 23rd or 31st, and they said it was a high skill level attack. United Nations at that time. And this is where, the World Health Organization declared a public health emergency, January 31st. Food scarcity in Wuhan. Yeah, we know people were fighting over the food. And yeah, it's third case in Ontario. That was on January 31st. We were having community transmission in a lot of places. We're just picking it up now. And that's how it happened in China, right? the community transmission was happening at such a rapid pace, they didn't realize how fast it was happening until it was too late. And it just overloaded everything. You can have the best healthcare systems in the world and the best people in the world, but you're not going to be able to handle an influx like that's going to happen. And it's just a matter of when. And they say just wash your hands, do this, do that. No, it's not just wash your hands, it's stay the hell away from people. Away from public places, away, no eating out, no fast food, no coffees at the drive-thrus, because like some of these people could be infected. They're handing your coffee every day. You don't know that. They don't know that, maybe, right? Maybe they caught it from somebody had no relation to anything that was happening at all. We don't know, right? People falling all over the place, right? Like, yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, and there's some armed medical staff going up here, and like these guys are packing some heat. But anyway, I'm not gonna. This here was a military order given, to go in to Wuhan and whatever. Basically take it down, right? Or shut it down, or whatever they had to do to contain the situation. And they did anything. They had a free ticket to do whatever they want. And these people are just ruthless there. They are. They have no respect for the average citizen. They think they're actually dirt. Doesn't matter. Really doesn't. And the military, this was signed on January 29th to get this done, and they rolled in there, and it says, to meet the expectations and fulfill the task, the military must strengthen leadership. Yeah, fulfill the task. I wonder what's the task. And it doesn't matter, right? The orders are to fulfill the task at probably any cost. So, and that's what they did, and that's what they continue to do. And we'll check out this video here. This is kind of, this guy's talking about stuff. I don't know how much. I personally don't believe that it was done on purpose, but you never know. It's possible, right? But I don't see why somebody would do this unless, I don't know. You never know. But I'm gonna check out this video here, and this came out February 1st. It's just a collage of other videos, and it kind of shows the gravity of the situation, but it's more along the lines of like, it's the humanitarian crisis that's going to unfold, or is unfolding, has been unfolding.
最更加让我震撼的事情，这个我这位台湾的朋友去江泽民家去看江泽民的时候，他。
He was once in the room, and Chang told him in English and not Chinese. And like this is at the time where people aren't really realizing what's going on, and people are kind of looking around, going, but there is people with face masks on, and just drop it, right?
进去以后，江泽民呢，老人家用英文，不用中文，用英文跟台湾朋友讲，世界要乱啦，中国要出事儿，你们要准备点后路啦。
So in China, we know that people were given money if they called and reported people who were sick or might have been hiding from another province, outside the quarantine zone where they're not supposed to be. The police were given money. So this person called, and then the guy found out who called on him and stabbed him. And they're fighting when they were building the hospitals, right? It was just high tensions. Crazy. And like the police were fighting, or citizens were fighting back against the police when they tried to lock down these cities. Yeah, and we seen this video earlier. This guy just gets fucking totaled. Unfortunately, you know, that's what they're doing to people. And they're just they weld the doors shut and they let the residents inside and they just die in there. They put a sign on the door and that's it. You don't get back out. Some people now are just jumping out of their windows. They're literally just committing suicide, jumping out of their high rises because they're locked in. They can't get out. They got no food. They got nothing. They're sick, maybe terrified, stressed, whatever. Could only imagine, right?
现在就像我在几周以前说的，
they blocked all the roads off everywhere. You can't even get, like they're saying, like emergency vehicles if you want it. They dug up the roads with like excavators.
整个中国的这场疫情，接下来将形成人与人之间最大的一场仇恨的战争，就是共产党培养了70年人与人之间的自私、拉仇恨，和对人的洗脑养成的无知无畏，那种暴力行为，和整个全民都是有心埋的这种情况，将导致人道大灾难。这是很恐怖的。这场人道大灾难，正在迸发中，在全国各地。请告诉我，发动的是共产党，谁能停下来？一旦启动，没有人能停下来，就像这个冠状病毒一样，被共产党被共产党的解放军给放出来，或者是无意放出来，他能收回去吗？他收不回去了。现在整个全国上下，人心里边又放了冠状病毒这种冠状就叫心霾冠状病毒，大家自私无知无法了，随便打人，随便把人给关起来，随便封上门，这是犯罪呀！所以说，亲爱的兄弟姐妹们，整个咱们这个14亿的同胞被共产党绑架70年以后，现在以最快的速度走向了人间的地狱呀！不但要走向人间的地狱，还要带到全世界下去，要把我们的在国内的所有的家人、同胞、同事们通通带走。我们现在能做什么？传播爆料革命真相，尽可能将国内你看到的、听到的真相发出来。
And you see all the birds because of the dead bodies, right? The city's just reeking of death because the bodies are just rotting in the streets and in people's houses. And there's numerous videos of massive flocks of like birds circling the city. Numerous cities now. But yeah, it's crazy, right? Doesn't think like you don't think that this could happen to this kind of degree, but like it's as probably legit as we'd ever get for like a shit show level event. We're not going to see anything like this again in our lifetimes, probably not. If we make it through it. But yeah, February 2nd. This is from one of the the reporters who got kidnapped, Fang Bing. And, we know that a lot of people got arrested, right? For speaking out about this. The doctors were arrested. China provides official guidelines for back to work. You gotta check this out. This is actually hilarious. This is funny. Their guidelines for going back to work is people should not be near each other. Okay, you have to just be, I think, 6 feet away from each other. And all the buses have to have the windows down. All the taxis have to have the windows down.
Today we have Dr. Zhang Liubo from China CDC Environmental Institute and Dr. Feng Luzhao from China CDC Infectious Disease Division. 45 cases, or NHC has received in accumulative terms.
Okay, just 1 second.
Up to now, we have traced 1631 cases, including severe cases in Wuhan, and also we have experts from Guangzhou, Wuhan.
I'm just like, do you see all the reporters? Everybody's got masks on, but these people up front.
And also we have experts from.
Like what? That makes no sense. Weird.
Guangzhou, Zhejiang, and China Academy of Medical Sciences.
I don't think those people were filming in the same room as these people. I really don't believe that.
Altogether, today, 200 professionals are to arrive at Wuhan. Now the Q&A.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Thank you. From CGTN, we know that the primary and the middle schools have postponed the school start.
Okay, wait.
Festival holiday is population.
We're looking for the back to work standards.
Speed trains and air should also be strengthened.
Here it is.
And concerning other public facilities. Second, to improve ventilation for high-speed trains and airplanes.
They're going to improve ventilation for high-speed trains and fucking airplanes. I swear to God, they just said improve ventilation for airplanes. Like you can't even make that shit up.
Trains and airplanes. The cabinet.
You gotta do open the window? 20,000 feet, just gonna crack a window? Yeah, right?
Are quite closed, so it is necessary to increase the ventilation frequency. Also,
she said you gotta increase the ventilation frequency, meaning you gotta, wind the windows down, or something more frequently.
If you are to take the airplane or the train, try to have more space among people.
Okay, right? I'm not even making this up. This is Chinese. This is, oh my God. When was this? February 2nd.
For public transportation like buses, natural ventilation should be emphasized. However,
natural ventilation should be emphasized. That is some classic wordplay on roll down the windows. Natural ventilation in a bus? Well, naturally it would be an open window, right? Try to make it sound all sciencey and stuff, like it's high tech. Anyway, but also, what about the colder regions? Tell us what you'll do in the colder regions for people on the bus.
In the north part of the country, it is still very cold, so disinfection frequency must be enhanced. For long distance buses,
right? For people that possibly could be infected on a long distance bus ride.
For passengers on the long distance buses, we suggest them to distance themselves from others, and also such buses should have a break every 2 hours, and also the windows should be opened to have a ventilation.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop it there because that's absolutely just fucking wacky. Right? This is the shit that they put out. And they are the most satanically corrupt government you could ever imagine. They really are. You don't understand the Chinese government. If you do, then you do. If you don't, then wow. You need to just brush up and just understand that these people are super sick. Really, they are. Press briefing: Nova Scotia's lobster industry's hit. February 3rd. More people getting dragged out in body bags. Oh yeah, this guy has something to say. This here's a pretty good video. He's actually analyst for financial, like he's the CEO of a big company. Anyway, he says some things that I kind of took notice to, even though this was a financial broadcast.
People are overly optimistic to say that China's growth will fall to maybe 5% or 5.5%. The fact is, for the past 2 weeks, even in the last week after the lockdown, China has been unable to control the coronavirus. The number of infections in the Hubei province continue to rise, and the number of deaths is still rising. So they have not shown any ability to control the spread of virus. So the situation is much direr than people expected. I think it will take China several months to control the spread of the virus, and then the harm done to the economy will be much more widespread than expected. I think the economy can fall, economic growth can fall by 2% or more, something like that. And you have factories stopping in Wuhan. And if we spread to Shanghai and other cities, the results will be catastrophic.
Also wanted to ask you about the equity market reaction that we've seen. Right now we have onshore markets soaking up this $174 billion liquidity injection that we saw earlier on this morning from Chinese policymakers. At the same time, reports of a ban on short selling in China as well, certainly impacting the equity market. How aggressive do you think Chinese policymakers are going to be in the near term when it comes to not just stabilizing the market, but also ensuring that the economy has the firepower to stay strong moving forward?
Well, the government will go all out to assure everybody that government is in control. Even though today we have 8%, more than 8% drop in equity markets in China, that's already expected. The problem is, can the virus be contained? If the virus can be contained, then I don't think the market will fall by that much. But if not, then the stock market can fall much further, even though despite government stimulus and government support. Maybe the national team will have to step in and buy shares to support the market. Right now it's 2,700, but it could easily go to 2,500. So I think the worst is yet to come.
Have to happen for the market to go to 2,500 then? Would it have to be a worst case scenario in terms of the virus spreading, the number of deaths, etc.?
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, this is unlike the SARS epidemic of 2003. As soon as China, the Chinese government tried to contain the SARS virus, the spread of SARS virus stopped almost immediately. But more than 1 week after China announced measures to control the coronavirus, the virus still spreading. So it shows that the spread of the virus is much wider than government will let us to believe, will let the public to believe. So it will take some time.
Right? This here guy's a CEO and analyst in Hong Kong, and he's even saying the government's full of shit. All right, we know what they are, and they were full of shit back then. They're even more full of shit now. February 3rd, Apple pulled out, shut down their business with Foxconn. They're done there. 11 confirmed cases in in the US now at the February 3rd. Yeah, oh yes, and the Chinese doctor who tried to save lives but was silenced. Now he has coronavirus, and you know, he tried to warn people and they arrested him. All right, if that doesn't like scream cover up, and then you have all these other people who, you know, they also tried to get the word out and they disappeared. All right. Terrible situation, right? And they're just dragging people out of homes and just treating people like absolute animals and like worthless. That's unbelievable. But you can guarantee that those people doing that got their own as well, because they're most likely all infected. Well, there was the first post from the disaster princess, the diamond princess. Yeah, from the boat. Came into Japan with all the 30 people tested and 10 came back positive. Yep. Yeah, and then they started quarantining everybody on the ship. All these, yeah. February 5th. And the cruise ship kind of really brought the world's attention to this. You know, before the cruise ship happened, nobody was really paying attention to it on the media. Like, it barely made any news at all. It really didn't. Nobody was talking about it. You know, and they say here, China just may be the tip of the iceberg. Yes, we know that. We know that now. It's everywhere. And so many people on the cruise ship. This is just a disaster. Oh yeah, and China virus response escalates to snitch lines and cash rewards and threats. Right? So they were having people, you know, if they figured people were breaking their quarantine, or they were, you know, they would pay them if they ratted on them. And that's what happened to that fellow that got stabbed. He found out his neighbor or whoever called on him, and that is it. Yeah, and things just kept progressing. World Health Organization confirms the human-to-human spreading outside of China on February 6th. A lot, right? Yeah, and they're just dragging people out like savage, man. Like, fuck it, just let's just check out this video. I don't know if we can pull this up. President's Coronavirus Task Force. Ugh. They weren't ready. We know that now. We can see that. We can see that now. You know? And these people, they're hired. They were hired to go in and do this job. They're not police. They're just big people who must have a strong stomach for doing what they're doing, right? And like, they're taking the whole family. Like, they take the whole family, the mother, the father, son. Like, ain't that some shit? And they got their cell phones all out. Probably because they were told to keep their cell phones out. You know, for documentation purposes or whatever. But anyway, yeah. Like, they're just savage there, right? Just off the fucking handle. And like, those people don't deserve that at all, right? They don't. But unfortunately, that's the way China is right now. Foxconn starts making masks, right? iPhone maker start making masks. That was on February 7th. Health minister breaks down when announcing the 11th case coronavirus. Yep. Oh, it's just maddening. It's maddening. The oh, and they broke her neck. I got that video. I got the whole thing. Saved. Yeah, they actually did. That was terrible, man. I wonder if I can find that. Let me just see. Let me just check here. Where did it go? Yeah, that was sick what they did. Actually, I can't find it right now, but yeah, it's probably not anything you want to watch anyway. But they broke her neck and killed her. They just drug this girl out of a car, and like she was a young woman, like maybe in her 20s, mid-20s, drug her out of the car, and because of excess force or whatever, they broke her neck. But I think it looked like they broke it on purpose. Yeah. Real life footage. Oh yeah, look, this here is the United States evacuating citizens out of Wuhan. This is the gear that the soldiers are wearing, I guess. And let's just take a look at that, because this video doesn't get enough attention, really.
Show of hands, has anybody not finished it yet? The only reason I say this is it's going to get really weird when everybody gets off the plane and you cannot.
You see what they're suited up in? You see their space suits that they got? They got self-contained breathing respirators.
You have to have that in order to...
And that's not a regular plane, right?
leave this airplane.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Just craziness, right? Absolutely bananas. And they're telling us like, no, it's all good. It's all good. And then they let thousands of people off this other cruise ship. And they tested 1,700 crew. And they were only in port for 1 week. And we're still, at that time, we were still waiting on 273 preliminary tests to be done from the other cruise ship, the Diamond Princess. But this other one that showed up to port in Japan, the same place, right beside the Diamond Princess, they just let everybody off. They didn't test 1,700 people. No way. They let those people go. They couldn't deal with another cruise ship. They couldn't deal with the one that they had. Right. Coronavirus. Passengers cleared. And it was actually proven that there was people on the past voyage on that cruise ship that came back infected. So most likely, yeah, infected. China goes back to work. This is on February 9th. No, they didn't. They said they were going to, but they didn't. Crematoriums, yeah, people saying they're just going 24/7. Well, they would be. Yeah, China's using its authoritarian arsenal to crack down on anyone who might spread the Wuhan virus. It's unbelievable, right? Yeah, and this guy here, Senator Tom Cotton, he actually believes that it came from the laboratory. And I believe so too. I do. Just given its nature, it doesn't seem to be anything that fits the puzzle in nature. Advanced team arrives in China, February 10th. Well, they only went to Beijing, China. But anyway, yeah. And again, Queen Wishi's gone, like, yeah, it's crazy. And the UK had this, like, big outbreak from the super spreader. At that time, February 10th, 11 people infected that they found, at least in 3 countries from this one person. You know, wow. How many other people were like that we didn't catch? You know, and that's what we got to be thinking about. My point for doing all this is to give you guys a real good in-depth view so you can see the timeline of events, but not only that, but you know, be aware of how serious this is so you can take the proper precautions, right? If you don't know what you're dealing with, you can't prepare properly. So you know, just, you know, they go and inspect the hospital. Wow, it's nice, clean, it's great. It's unreal, like, and then they evacuated a bunch of people. Yeah, I get that, but that was a bad idea, because now we know that there's actually an outbreak at Travis Air Force Base. There was a memo sent out, I guess what would have been yesterday now, but there was an internal memo sent out to family members to self-quarantine. Family members of the fucking Air Force, or people at the Air Force Base, Travis Air Force Base, wherever that one is. So we got frontline workers, we got military workers, we got police officers, we got firefighters, we got a bunch of people already on quarantine. This thing hasn't even got its legs off the ground yet. Scientists predict coronavirus may live up for 9 days on surfaces. Yep, you can definitely. I would err on the caution of 2 weeks, at least, and then I would like disinfect the bags and or whatever you thought might be contaminated with bleach, and you know, try to kill it. 195 Americans are released from coronavirus quarantine at California Air Base. So there's a funny thing about this story. There's a lot of high up senior officials in this group of people. They were the first ones to be released. They were the first ones evacuated. There was a lot of skepticism about how quick everything happened and whatever, but there actually was big players in, you know, in this group of people. I don't know whether government or whatever, but they were obviously considered important people. Super spreader, yeah, you know, you got 11 people. You know, some of these patients, I'd like to see where these patients are right now. Like some of these people from way back when. Like, has anybody had any contact with them? How come they're not doing follow-up cases? You know, we kind of heard from them when they were going in, but nothing after they're out. You know, we haven't seen any of these miraculous videos of people saying, well, you know, it's still good. You know, I've had this for a couple of months now, or I had this for a couple of weeks and I'm still doing good. No, you don't see any of those videos. Why? Oh, I don't know. Singapore bank evacuated. That was on February 12th. Has coronavirus reached its peak in China? No, I don't think so. Yeah, we got just a lot of stuff, right? What's this one? Some coronavirus testing kits sent to the States, and at least 30 other countries have flaws and do not work properly. Yeah, that was... When was that? That was February 12th. This was CNN. The kits were meant to enable states to conduct their own testing and get results faster than they would by shipping samples to CDC. But the failure of the kits means that the states will have to depend on the CDC. Well, I don't know. Apparently they got kits now. You know, 30 countries around the world. Like, how bad is that? Can't even use them. Useless. Like, that already... You know, that's one major hiccup in our data gathering. Right? It sure is. Oh, it's just maddening. The lack of transparency and not only that, it's they're not ready. North Korea officially reportedly executed. And this is a high up official. I guess it did happen. It was only, and not only that, they're executing anybody that they figure is infected now. Yeah, so this one here is actually a good one to look at. And this is a list of products to help sterilize it or kill it. Biocide chemistries. So there is a chart down here somewhere. Yeah, products that will kill the coronavirus. Wow, that's really small. Can I make that bigger? Enhance. So we got all kinds of good stuff in here. Purell, food service hand sanitizer, food processing surface sanitizer, Clorox. Most Clorox products work. Most Lysol brands work. Peroxide disinfectant. Yeah, peroxide multi-surface cleaner. And a couple other things in there. But mostly, you know, your Clorox and your Lysol brands should work to kill the surface of coronaviruses. But, you know, you can never be too safe. Right? Yeah, it's a lot. China slams Australia for overreaction. Because that makes no sense. Do you see how stupid this stuff like China says? China slams Australia for overreaction, but yet China at this moment has almost 500 million people in quarantine. And they're upset at Australia because they want to ban travel. They got 5 million people quarantined, but they're upset because, you know, they want to stop a couple people from flying on an airplane. Yeah, makes no sense, does it? Oh, well, it's a lot. Coronavirus, China, yep. Hundreds of frontline medics likely infected. That was CNN. That was on the 14th of February. Yeah. Again, like just a timeline to go through stuff. 5th presumptive case confirmed in BC, Canada. That was on the 14th of February. A bunch of people got released off the boat. Africa got its first case February 14th. Facebook cancels big conference in San Francisco on Valentine's Day. Research shows it is spread easily in hospitals. Oh yeah, we know that. It ripped through the hospitals in Wuhan in China. Right? Coronavirus inflicts growing toll on health workers. Yeah, we can't even imagine how many frontline workers went down in Wuhan in China. And, you know, we just can't. You know, Vietnam started doing mass quarantines. They quarantined 10,000 people on Valentine's Day. You know, happy Valentine's Day. Going to quarantine. Yeah, it's a lot. We don't know how bad this is going to get, right? That's the thing. And for the most part, this virus is still a complete mystery for what, you know, but we know, we can see its pattern. You know, like it absolutely devoured China in like a few weeks. And it's not going to take long for it to spread other places, right? It's just, and we're seeing it happen. We're starting to see the cases pop up. You know, the nursing home in the United States, that's a big one. And the CDC's just shitting the bed. Like they weren't ready for this. And they're upset because they don't have any equipment and yeah. Just a shit show. Also, worst flu season in a long time. Yep, we know that. We never know where this could have started, right? We never know. But it does not look like it's natural. It just doesn't. You know what I mean? Sticks out like a sore thumb on a scientific level, given its properties and these, you know, special abilities that it has. Crazy stuff, though. And you just have to be ready. Because they're not going to tell us the truth. They're full of shit. They're so full of shit. Oh, this guy, shake my hand. Yeah, okay. I hope he got it. I do. I so hope he got it. And all his little fucking minions, too. Yeah, why did the US break Diamond Princess quarantine? Something went awry. Yeah, it did. They found out how infectious it actually was. 780 million people. Travel restrictions in China. That was the February 17th. You know, and the Wuhan hospital boss. There it is there. You know, the director. The director of the hospital, you know, that I was showing you earlier in the video where that doctor was yelling on the phone. That was the boss of that hospital. And that's probably why he wasn't answering the phone. Because he was sick. A lot of people got sick. Even one of the CDC's specialists, like the World Health Organization's specialist, got sick. He actually made the Lancet as a publication for he got infected through the eyes. He was the first one to get infected through the eyes. But there was a lot of people saying that it was transmitting through the eyes in earlier reports, but I was like, how do you get a respiratory disease through your eyes? But apparently you can. Because it's not just a respiratory disease. Oh, it really isn't. And these ass clowns are just like dog fucking. They really are. And yeah, number one thing right now is to keep the public calm. So they can't come out and say anything. They just gotta stick to their narrative, which is just give them empty fucking questions or empty answers or vague answers, right? And then Beijing expelled journalists, you know, kicking them out. They don't want them reporting on the actual facts, right? And you know, we know that there's people falling all over the place and just a disaster, right? And this thing doesn't add up on a scientific level. Just doesn't. You know, it just doesn't. Nope. Yeah. A work-free drug place. Not a bad spot to be. Yeah, here's a chart for graphical chart, gives an accurate representation of the nCoV or you know, the COVID-19 coronavirus versus SARS, which is the yellow line here, and yeah, that's probably a pretty accurate representation. There's the original. But yeah. 5 Britons catch it. The crew, or at the ski resort, that just went like wildfire there, and now we're up to, you know, here, Iran. They had February 20th. You know, they were pulling people, showing up in hazmat suits in Iran, February 20th. Here is, you know, here's the Hong Kong collapse one, right? And again, this is, it seems weird why he's twitching. It seems like it's like a nervous system or like a neurological of some kind. But you notice that nobody's going to help him, and there is a pool of blood underneath him, like right in his face. There is a little pool of blood there because he went face down, and you see where his arms are, right? He didn't brace for his impact or nothing. He went face first. And everybody in the background's all got masks on. Nobody's approaching him. Why? Because he's infected, or most likely infected, right? So it fits the situation. But now we have this happening, like, in Hong Kong. Right? But anyway, it is happening there. And it's also happening in Iran. Here's some security footage of a security guard collapsing. And it doesn't look like he falls asleep or something. Like, this guy goes out. Like, he's done right there. Like, if he was tired, he would have woke up after falling on the ground. He looks like, he doesn't look like he's Chinese, does he? That guy look like he's Chinese? Doesn't look Chinese to me. Could have been, you know, somebody that was helping out with the efforts. And yeah, that one's kind of sketchy. I don't know about that one. Likely, CDC's preparing. They said they were preparing back on February 21st. Okay. When was that? That was like fucking 2 weeks ago. They're preparing, but they're not ready still even yet. Apparently, just I don't know. Everybody's got a plumbus. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But it doesn't add up at all. At all. Not even a little bit. And all they can do is try to keep the public calm. That's all they can do at this point. That's all that they can do. Really, what else can you do? Samsung Galaxy Flip factory shut down. Like, it's you know, that stuff doesn't happen unless there's real things happening. Yes, it's real. And how bad is it? It's really bad. Just be aware of that, right? You have to be aware of it. Because if you're not aware of it and you're not taking the proper precautions, you're going to be, you know, kind of nonchalant about the situation, or kind of just brushing it off like it's nothing, maybe. Yeah, it's just a shit show. Compilation of videos leaked from China. Yeah, we know there's lots of crazy videos, right? Crazy videos. South Korean Prime Minister warns about the illegal hoarding of medical goods. Yeah. She went up there pretty quick in South Korea, though. Those numbers jumped real fast. And Italy, of course. Iran, like, what the hell's going on there? Like, it's everybody that comes out of there is infected. Same with China pretty well. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. Italian towns, like, they locked it down there pretty quick. Up in northern Italy, like, the Pope is sick. Like, I don't know. People say the Pope has it now. We're still waiting. I don't even know if he got tested. I wonder if he even did get tested. Alright. Yeah. Craziness. Incubation period could be longer than 27 days. Unbelievable. We don't know what this is at all. And then you got these ass clowns telling everybody, well, you know, we know what it is, but we don't know what it is. We're just going to talk at our ass and give you public safety advice based upon information that we don't have, basically. Let's see what Bill Gates has to say about this back in 2014. About how we're not ready. And why that would be. A lot of people talk about the 2001 event. Well, the 2001 event appeared a lot later than just a few years ago. While you guys watch this, I will go for a quick cigarette and a coffee. I'm just going to let this play right through if you're interested in watching it. It's, you know, it's information.
When I was a kid, the disaster we worried about most was a nuclear war. That's why we had a barrel like this down in our basement, filled with cans of food and water. When the nuclear attack came, we were supposed to go downstairs, hunker down, and eat out of that barrel. Today, the greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. Not missiles, but microbes. Now, part of the reason for this is that we have invested a huge amount in nuclear deterrence, but we've actually invested very little in a system to stop an epidemic. We're not ready for the next epidemic. Let's look at Ebola. I'm sure all of you read about it in the newspaper. Lots of tough challenges. I followed it carefully through the case analysis tools we use to track polio eradication. And as you look at what went on, the problem wasn't that there was a system that didn't work well enough. The problem was that we didn't have a system at all. In fact, there are some pretty obvious key missing pieces. We didn't have a group of epidemiologists ready to go who would have gone, seen what the disease was, see how far it had spread. The case reports came in on paper. It was very delayed before they were put online, and they were extremely inaccurate. We didn't have a medical team ready to go. We didn't have a way of preparing people. Now, Médecins Sans Frontières did a great job orchestrating volunteers, but even so, we were far slower than we should have been getting the thousands of workers into these countries. And a large epidemic would require us to have hundreds of thousands of workers. There was no one there to look at treatment approaches, no one to look at the diagnostics, no one to figure out what tools should be used. As an example, we could have taken the blood of survivors, processed it, and put that plasma back in people to protect them. But that was never tried. So there was a lot that was missing, and these things are really a global failure. The WHO is funded to monitor epidemics, but not to do these things I talked about. Now in the movies, it's quite different. There's a group of handsome epidemiologists ready to go. They move in, they save the day, but that's just pure Hollywood. The failure to prepare could allow the next epidemic to be dramatically more devastating than Ebola. Let's look at the progression of Ebola over this year. About 10,000 people died, and nearly all were in the 3 West African countries. There's 3 reasons why it didn't spread more. The first is there was a lot of heroic work by the health workers. They found the people and they prevented more infections. The second is the nature of the virus. Ebola does not spread through the air. And by the time you're contagious, most people are so sick that they're bedridden. Third, it didn't get into many urban areas, and that was just luck. If it had gotten into a lot more urban areas, the case numbers would have been much larger. So next time, we might not be so lucky. You can have a virus where people feel well enough while they're infectious that they get on a plane or they go to a market. The source of the virus could be a natural epidemic like Ebola, or it could be bioterrorism. And so there are things that would literally make things 1,000 times worse. In fact, let's look at a model of a virus spread through the air like the Spanish flu back in 1918. So here's what would happen. It would spread throughout the world very, very quickly. And you can see there's over 30 million people die from that epidemic. So this is a serious problem. We should be concerned. But in fact, we can build a really good response system. We have the benefits of all the science and technology that we talk about here. We've got cell phones to get information from the public and get information out to them. We have satellite maps where we can see where people are and where they're moving. We have advances in biology that should dramatically change the turnaround time to look at a pathogen and be able to make drugs and vaccines that fit for that pathogen. So we can have tools, but those tools need to be put into an overall global health system, and we need preparedness. The best lessons, I think, on how to get prepared are, again, what we do for war. For soldiers, we have full-time waiting to go. We have reserves that can scale us up to large numbers. NATO has a mobile unit that can deploy very rapidly. NATO does a lot of war games to check, are people well-trained? Do they understand about fuel and logistics and the same radio frequencies? So they are absolutely ready to go. So those are the kinds of things we need to deal with an epidemic. What are the key pieces? First is we need strong health systems in poor countries. That's where mothers can give birth safely, kids can get all their vaccines, but also where we'll see the outbreak very early on. We need a medical reserve corps, lots of people who've got the training and background who are ready to go with the expertise. And then we need to pair those medical people with the military, taking advantage of the military's ability to move fast, do logistics, and secure areas. We need to do simulations, germ games, not war games, so that we see where the holes are. The last time a germ game was done in the United States was back in 2001, and it didn't go so well. So far, the score is germs 1, people 0. Finally, we need lots of advanced R&D in areas of vaccines and diagnostics. There are some big breakthroughs, like adeno-associated virus, that could work very, very quickly. Now, I don't have an exact budget for what this would cost, but I'm quite sure it's very modest compared to the potential harm. The World Bank estimates that if we have a worldwide flu epidemic, global wealth will go down by over $3 trillion, and we'd have millions and millions of deaths. These investments offer significant benefits beyond just being ready for the epidemic.
Okay, we'll stop it there. It just kind of finishes up. But yeah, $3 trillion. We've lost that already. In case you were wondering, in case you were keeping count. So yeah, this is getting into the stuff that was just later, more recent stuff. Mission Impossible halted their movie production in Italy. Of course, Italy's got the outbreak. They're not going to go there. Yeah. But basically, that was like a little trip down memory lane of how all this evolved, right? And they're talking about tipping points and windows of opportunity. This thing's been traveling for quite some time. Definitely longer than what we think. All right. And the media is just being bullshit. Like, we're gonna see it with our own eyes. You know, they can't hide it. It's gonna come out, right? The Pope's getting sick. Like, come on. Right? It's bad. Right? It's a lot worse than they're telling us. But they're not telling us how bad it is because they want people not to panic, right? And you can't panic. But the problem is that people will panic. Especially if you tell them not to panic and lie to them. And then shit happens. They definitely won't trust you. Unreal, right? I've got all these fucking experts chirping from their podiums. What does it all mean? Not a goddamn thing. Really. You know, they might be reporting on cases coming up, but when they're still telling everybody that the risk is low. They really are. That's a great picture. It's my favorite picture. I'm gonna get that framed. It's not bad at all. But, you know, it's a lack of transparency and a lack of action. And it's costing all of us. Right? It really is. So all that. Yeah, and the United States has like 105 cases. They probably got, well, you know, you got a couple of hundred. You definitely have a couple of thousand. Right? Definitely. And they only started testing for this like a couple of days ago. Like, come on. Like, it's absolutely ripping through these places. Like, here's the nursing home. Second coronavirus death in Washington State. You know, and Washington State, well, yeah, that's where that nursing home is. And, you know, we're seeing very sloppy protocol procedures for training of the staff, and people aren't, you know, it's just sad. Really, it is. It's quite a thing. But you can't be trusting what the hell the media is saying, right? You really can't at this point. They're full of shit. They really are. So, let's just go in and check what the latest news. Washington improves childcare and healthcare. No new taxes or fund transfers are assumed in the budget. Yeah. NBA players avoid high fives. Well, they should probably avoid all playing all together. Like, that's large crowds, right? Obviously, you know, they have an outbreak in Atlanta. They got outbreaks in California. All over the place, right? They're just shitting the bed. They're telling people, nah, just go about your business. Just do whatever you're gonna do. Don't worry about it. It's all good. But we just seen how it all was all good in China, right? And we can only assume that that's exactly what's gonna happen everywhere else, because they can't control this and they're not ready for it. And a lot of people aren't taking the gravity of the situation as much as they should because they think, well, the government's going to take care of this. Don't put your hopes up so high in these people at this point. Yeah. Not a lot of big news coming out right now. It's earlier in the morning. But anyways, you can bet there's going to be a full day of news here pretty soon. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Appreciate you guys for sticking around and watching this. It's information and it's going to raise awareness. And we really have to raise our level of awareness as people because, they're not doing it for us. It's almost like they just want to watch us burn or something. Doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But anyway, stay safe, and take your precautions and just be aware. I'm sure we'll see you very soon. Once again, thanks for watching.